Welcome to Two Poor Artists, where we're poor at producing tears, but mostly we're poor at making art. My name is Benj.
And my name is Isaac. Yes, it is true. We are poor at producing tears. Not like that we don't get sad and cry, but if you've ever seen two grown men cry whose tear ducts just refuse to produce tears, that's us.
Yep.
It's not a pretty sight.
It's true.
Your face gets all red and your eyes bulge out, but nothing comes.
Yeah. The worst is like when there's onions and it's like your eyes are burning.
Yeah, and your tears would save you potentially.
Yeah,
but
they might. We wouldn't know.
Yeah.
We've never felt the sweet relief of tears.
Just the intense daggers of onion. I think that's fascinating that one of easily the best tasting foods, like, there's very few recipes that don't call for, like, onions.
Yeah, like, if you're eating something savory, there's onions in it.
Exactly. Like, onions are good on everything. But you have to cut them.
Yeah.
Like, unlike, like, potatoes, I mean, you just, like, boil it, you have to, like, slice an onion. And the onion is strong enough that it has to be sliced into, like, small pieces. So you just have to torture yourself to eat onion.
Yeah, but it's worth it every time.
I think God made onions just so that there would have to be a profession of a chef. Because people are like, I would cook all my food, but everything I want to cook has onions.
Right.
And then, I mean, maybe God, like, foresaw chefs being a thing, but sous chefs, like the assistant chefs.
Right.
God knew that they would need a place in the world too, so he's like, actually, I'm gonna make onions both needing to be chopped and incredibly painful to the eyes.
Right. But everyone wants them.
Exactly. So there's gonna be chefs, and then those chefs are gonna want to hire assistant chefs
just to cut
the onions. You don't want to be. It's like the like summer internship at the restaurant is the onion chef.
Yes.
No one talks about the onion chef. No one likes the onion chef. The onion chef gets like a tiny little cupboard, like
just full of onions.
Full of onions.
And there's like a cutting board.
Very poor ventilation. Cutting board and just like a little like hatch that he opens and the onions come out.
Yeah. Most
people don't even know there's an onion chef in there. They just assume onions come.
It's like onions come out. It's like a machine.
Exactly. They think it's a machine. But there's no 5-star chef settles for machine sliced onions.
No.
He hires himself an unpaid intern.
Yeah.
The onion chef.
You need the onion granules to be precisely cut by human hands.
Yes.
A robot would make them too not, it wouldn't be artisan.
McDonald's. You ever had McDonald's onions? They're like chopped so fine.
Yeah.
Like, I love McDonald's onions on stuff, but every time I eat them, I feel sad for the.
Right.
You know how many onion chefs McDonald's has to hire?
Yeah.
Just to chop their onions?
For those like McDoubles with the super thin.
Yeah. And you'd think McDonald's uses machines.
No, of course not.
No. McDonald's is like against that, except for like in the restaurants when you have to order.
Yeah. They even like will have machines in the McDonald's, but then not use them. Like they have like that automatic like frying machine.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That you like look over there and it's in the corner not being used because they have a human doing it.
I imagine that like the corporate McDonald's people tell the employees like, we want you to use this automatic frying machine, and then the employees look at it and they're like, if I use that, I'm gonna get fired because they're gonna realize
does my whole job for me.
And there's some like accountant at McDonald's who's like, we don't understand. We expected once we paid all this money for the automatic fryer and the onion chopper. We thought productivity would go up and we could lay off some people, but it's actually gone down. And then like all the minimum wage employees are like smirking in the corner.
That must be exactly how it is.
I think it must be, because why else would there be onion chefs? Which there clearly are.
Well, yeah, we know that.
Yeah, that's like a fact of nature.
Yes.
From the beginning, there have been onion chefs. Since the first onion was pulled up out of the ground in the Garden of Eden.
There's an onion chef.
There was an onion chef. Yeah.
The least favored son.
Yeah, it was like Cain's job.
Yeah.
Like, we know you killed your brothers, but we have a new job for you. Fields of onions.
Very important.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what is meant by his curse. The ground won't yield for you. It just meant you'll cry. You'll cry so much.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're gonna the onion.
Like the only thing that will grow will be onions, and you will cry.
And you're gonna have to chop them for
everyone else
900 years or however long Cain lived. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the Bible says.
Yep.
If you interpret it.
Yeah, it could possibly be interpreted that way. I've heard worse interpretations of Cain.
I have definitely heard worse interpretations of the Bible. Not necessarily any more or less true, but worse.
Yes.
Did we doesn't have any deep eternal implications?
Right.
You just have a really weird theology about Cain.
Yeah.
Being the first onion chef.
Yep.
Yeah, he was he didn't have onion cupboards back then. He was just in a hollowed out tree.
Yeah.
Chopping.
The perfect place to chop onions.
But
no one could end his misery.
Yep, it's a little rough. But believe it or not, we're not actually drawing onion chefs today.
No.
Although we should really, write that down for later. Yeah. We are drawing Tears of the Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
This is officially our longest introduction to what we're actually going to do.
What's the time say? 6:45?
Yeah, thanks for making it this far into the video with a white screen. Maybe we should we'll put up a picture. I will draw an onion chef after this and just we'll stick it in. It might be a really crappy drawing because I'm going to draw it.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll just be a dude and he'll have a hat. One of those chef hats.
That's not a chef hat. That's a top hat.
He'll have a top hat. Maybe. And he'll be oof.
Is that his knife?
It was supposed to be. Now it just looks like he's dipped his chicken wing in something. And they'll be an onion.
It's like a scooper. It looks like one of those scoopers for laundry detergent.
It does kind of look like a scooper, but I promise you it's actually a knife, and it'd be sad.
So you're drawing this now, right? While we're talking about you drawing it, but I'm supposed to put this up earlier. So
this is gonna be
I'm gonna have to do some weird editing on this one. It's gonna come up and it's gonna disappear so you can draw it.
You should just have a stay tuned for the onion chef drawing.
Just that's what shows up.
As soon as the video starts.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned for and they'll be really confused why.
Okay.
What else can I say to make this editing process even more difficult for you? Yeah, so we're not actually drawing onion.
Well, I mean, we are. We just did.
Should I sign this to make it art?
Well, this isn't officially art because we're not drawing this.
But I've already drawn it.
Oh.
Anyway, time for the actual drawing, Tears of the Kingdom. And while I start drawing, I'm going to let you explain why we're drawing Tears of the Kingdom and not Onion Chef, even though we clearly should both be doing that.
Yeah. Well, we're drawing Tears of the Kingdom because we thought, why don't we draw something that might be searched, actually, to maybe have hopes of someone stumbling across our video.
And why might somebody stumble across a video titled Tears of the Kingdom?
Well, that's because a new game is coming out.
What game is that, Ben?
The sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yes. Breath of the Wild. Legend of Zelda.
The literal most disappointing thing that's ever happened.
Okay. Calm down, Benj, because we all know that even though you and I are both incredibly big Legend of Zelda fans, you didn't like Breath of the Wild because it was different, and you don't like change or happiness.
I'm perfectly fine with change. In fact, I usually prefer change.
Yeah, I'm the one who doesn't like change.
Yeah.
Normally.
No, I don't like when they make the best game series ever. Maybe second to Pokemon. I regularly debate to myself which one I like better. They took they took everything that made a good Legend of Zelda game out and replaced it with stuff that doesn't even make a good game.
It is much different than every other Legend of Zelda game, so there's like hope, I suppose, that this next one, Tears of the Kingdom, will actually be better. But Benj doesn't have any hope for that.
No, I do not, because Breath of the Wild. See, like we complain about like how disappointing things like The Last Airbender or Endgame was.
Speak its name.
Breath of the Wild was significantly more disappointing to me than
The Last Airbender.
Yes.
Blasphemy, isn't it?
No. Because see, the thing is, those were movies and TV shows, which
That's
are less
correct,
important than video games.
It's true. Because, what people I think don't understand a lot of the time about video games is, like, if you like watching a movie, right? You're like, I like that character. I identify with that character. And that's why I like this show, right? But, like, people are always like, oh, there's stupid people who play video games all the time. What's great about a video game is you get to become that character. Like, you are the adventurer going out on a quest.
Yeah. And Legend of Zelda does that one of the best because they purposely created the character to not speak and also to like be able to move in whatever way you like make him move. Like they specifically like programmed in movements that you might do, just because. Like they'll give him like weird facial expressions if you do the same thing over and over again and stuff. Like just because it's like, oh, this is how I want to play my character. So like Link or whatever you name him.
Yeah, we should get this out of the way right away because his name is not Zelda. The dude you play as in Legend of Zelda games, his name is Link.
Well, his name is whatever you name him.
Yeah, but his name should be Link.
You can name him Zelda.
Yeah, but his name is Link. Like,
right, but the point is, you can
like
name
if you
him
buy
anything.
like an action figure of him, it's gonna say Link.
Yeah, that's true. But you can also name him anything you want and play him however you want. And that's
actually,
point.
in Breath of the Wild, I don't think you named him. I think Zelda calls you Link because it's voice acted a little bit.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild was the worst.
So anyway, Benj didn't like that, but Benj,
because it was bad.
I liked it, even though it wasn't, like what people generally like about Zelda games. And I don't like it for that. Like, I wish they would add back a lot of the things from original Zelda games. What's the thing you're hoping for most in the new Zelda game, Benj, since it hasn't actually come out yet?
I mean, if they added back in actual dungeons and items that like mattered, then I would not completely hate the game.
This poor man.
Yeah, that guy is the worst.
I realize he might be pointing at what he's pointing at with his pinky finger.
His arms are the worst.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
This guy is as bad, if not worse, than the guy that was sitting on top of Saggy Butt Horse.
He has a really long neck. What could I do to make it even worse? I could give him like...
It's the worst haircut.
Yeah, what's the worst haircut? Like a bowl cut?
He's also like one of your Cyclops guys.
It's hard to tell. I don't think it's quite as bad as some of my Cyclops guys.
But like the eye doesn't even end.
I think those are lips, and there's actually no nose.
She has like a chin and then lips.
Like those are clearly lips.
I kind of assumed he just had a really long top lip.
Yeah, that actually helped a little, I think.
I know.
The nose is way on the right side of his face.
You did like super nose last strategy.
Yeah, it's true. Like you add in a nose because you forgot it. But that doesn't matter. He's just a peasant.
Wait, is that reference art you have on your phone? What
No,
reference?
I was only referencing what clothing like a squire wears. And only thing I took from that was I knew he had to have a tunic, but I didn't know what the neck should look like.
I don't mind if you look at reference art. I'm just wondering what reference art did you look at to draw this?
I wasn't looking at the face of the reference art. That was all me.
No, what about the body?
I mean, I looked at this, and this isn't even what I saw. Like, it's like a rough interpretation of that.
You like
It's
looked
like
at reference art, you're like, I don't like this.
it's
We're gonna
like
draw
when
something
you.
worse.
I don't know if you've ever done this with art, but there's like AI art now,
Mm-hmm.
where you can just go to a computer and like ask it to like make a squire, and
Right.
it always like it vaguely resembles it, but you have to like give it a bunch of parameters. Like, I want it to be a squire. I want him to be standing. I want him to have normal hands. Like, you have to tell the
Yeah, you
AI
have to like
these
tell
like
it
crazy.
like don't look hideous.
Yeah, don't look hideous. Don't mutate. Not mutated. Both hands. 5 fingers on each. Like, you have to say
Yeah.
like really specific things, or else it makes like this monstrosity.
Yeah. You have to have like a long list of things you want and a long list of things you don't want.
This is like somebody coming to us, and we're the AI, and it's like,
Right.
draw a squire, and I'm like,
You
Ooh.
didn't say not mutilated hands.
Yeah,
you
you
didn't
didn't-
say the nose last strategy.
yeah,
You
but like
didn't-
even this thing is like, it's vaguely what the thing I saw in the picture was, but it's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, that doesn't really matter.
But I do approve of you at least not drawing the feet.
Well, yeah, there was no hope for that.
But I mean, I guess this is like a peasant. Like peasants can
Yeah, he's just a peasant.
like he's
You ever seen a normal looking peasant?
yeah, no, of course not. This
know what
guy's
the-
malnourished, overworked.
There's certain jobs in Hollywood you've just got to be like, who agreed to that job?
Mhm.
Because, like, who did, like, you're the guy who gets like hired for like ugly peasant number 6
Yeah.
in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because every Hollywood like casting director looks
Yeah.
at you and they're like,
It's like
man, you are just an ugly peasant.
Yeah.
Like,
you were like in a horrible accident,
yeah.
and then it's like, okay, you get the ugly guy job every time.
You know, like, that's the thing, you know? Like, that legitimately, every time you see, like, bring in the dirty peasants, like, you know,
Mhm.
like, the king has been, like, overworking or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's just, like, this group of horribly ugly-looking, dirty people,
Mhm.
and you have to wonder to yourself, like, did they just, like, show up to work that way?
yeah.
Or is there, like, makeup involved?
It's also like when you have like we're looking for you know, the deadbeat, fat, out of shape stepfather, you know, that looks horrible. Who wants that
Yeah,
job?
I know, right? And there's always, like, one guy who's like, I was auditioning for the lead. And, like, the hero, and they made me ugly stepfather.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
my mother
like-
says I'm handsome.
You know, it's like you're casting for like Cinderella, and it's like you go in to be Cinderella, and it's like, I think you're more like ugly stepsister number 3,
Yeah, exactly.
the ugliest one.
Yeah. Which one is she for? Oh, so I see you've already been to makeup. Oh, you haven't. Well, on with you. On you go. If that's, yep. Just like give the casting director like a thumbs up behind their back. Made my job easy today. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, like, and they're like probably like named something gross, like Giselle in real life, like Gisella. Like, your mom knew. Your mom
This
knew.
has been
what she would
planned
be.
from the start. So this other guy's shoulders are like way far away from his head.
It's like
This
his-
guy's shoulder is like in his head.
This is the king.
Oh, the king. Is that why his shoulders are? What is that line?
It was supposed to be like his skirt.
It's so high up.
It's like in his
He's
underwear, arguably. I'll have to try to.
why is the king wearing like a mini skirt? That's also like hoisted up to his belly button.
He's just roused from his bed. It's a cape.
Was like so small.
It's sleeping cape.
This is like if a toddler was the king. Comes out, giant head, tiny body,
I'll tell you why.
wearing a diaper.
I'll tell you why. Yeah, just in a second. He's super creepy.
Like, Looks like a lemon
Yeah, it
grab.
does. It does. If you've ever seen.
This episode's gonna be extra long, and we're not even gonna be able to look at your drawing any longer if you keep doing things like this.
I'm.
Like I can't look at it.
I have to because I have to finish it. Stop. I know it's bad. I drew it.
It's more than that.
Stop.
Like I could look at it until you put the hair. That's
Well, I thought about going back and trying to fix him. You know the rule about hair covers a multitude of sins, but I kind of like him how he is.
It's a good thing I can't produce tears, or else
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to see through
Yeah,
them
true.
right now.
What a blessing that is for us. Who knew this episode would finally give us a reason to be thankful for our tear duct problems. Anyway, so this is like, I need to wrap this up, I feel like, but there's, hang on. I'll make it clear what this is. Give me a second. Gosh, no. Okay, this is... Yeah, that actually looks better than I thought it would. But this is like a king and his kingdom, and he has a moat full of alligators or crocodiles, maybe because it's crying. But anyway, the moat. How do you spell sire? S-I-R-E, I think.
Yeah, that's how I spell it.
The moat is empty. Yeah, you know how this goes. When you're a king,
Mm-hmm.
you always have to have. You have a kingdom. You have to have a moat. It has
Right.
to be full of water, full of alligators,
Mm-hmm.
so that everybody who's seen the second Indiana Jones movie and saw that one guy fall into the river full of alligators doesn't want to attack your kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of
You know.
course.
But this moat is, oh man. The moat is dry.
That's a problem.
It is, because, sure, the alligators are still pretty intimidating, but mostly it's for, like, the, marauders who are, sieging your castle,
Mm-hmm.
who can't swim. That's
Right.
the scariest thing for them.
Yeah.
That's what they saw in Indiana Jones. They saw the guy get eaten by an alligator, and they're like, that happens every day.
Right.
You sleep it outside in a tent in the wrong swamp, someone's gonna get eaten by an alligator.
Of course.
That's what happened to the rest of this guy's fingers.
Yeah.
He pointed at the moat too close. You can see he's taking a couple of steps back this time.
Pointing with his pinky.
Yeah. Okay, don't look at this guy. Just look at his words. His fingers clearly doing the talking.
He doesn't. He actually can't talk. He just like points and words appear.
Wouldn't that should be a thing. Yes, I'm doing a quick spell check to see how you spell peasants, because I feel like that could go terribly wrong. But this has happened before. Tell all the peasants in the kingdom to start crying immediately.
Mm-hmm. It's a perfectly reasonable,
Isn't it, though?
Solution.
Yeah, how else are you going to fill it up so quick? They didn't have, like, indoor plumbing. You have an abundance of peasants.
Except I hear this guy saying it in Lemongrab's voice.
Yes, it's squeaky and terrible, but he says it nonetheless. And the floodwaters from all the tiers of the kingdom start to rise. And the moat gets filled, and our crocodile buddy down here stops crying, which is ironic because if he had cried more, it might have helped.
Yeah.
These are the tiers of the kingdom.
Right. So, and then in the future, the moat could be called the Tears of the Kingdom. Moat.
Yeah, you know how cool you are if you're a king? And you're like, yep, I filled the moat with the tears of the peasants.
Yes.
Because
he definitely can brag about that at the next meeting of the kings.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff they brag about. They're like trying to see who's like more terrible.
Yep.
And they're like, well, I filled my moat with the tears of all the kingdoms. It's like, yeah, but I made the babies cry. And that's what I filled mine with. He's
just like, the baby tears.
Oh, well, I got puppies to cry in my moat. so. And then there's like, like Olgar the Terrible. And he's like, I filled it with the blood of my enemies. And everyone just kind of like stops and looks at him. It's like an odd moment of silence where they watch him like eating a pig on a shish kebab. Like a whole pig. Like, and they're like, nobody wants to try to, say anything. Like, kind of spoiled the fun. Because he's like, terrible.
Right.
You've been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
All the time.
It's like how art conferences go.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, there's always that one artist who's like, I drew using the blood of my enemies. Yeah. And all of us real artists are like, you realize that's color?
Yeah.
And then we just kind of like, nobody wants to sit next to him for the rest of the conference.
Yeah. Unless, of course, you're talking about like Orakai blood or something.
Yeah, but his enemies were like puppies.
Right.
There's always that artist who's like, the worst. But anyway, yeah, Tears of... Oh, gosh, I looked at it again. Tears of the Kingdom. All right. It's hard to get over to you so we can get this man-child off of the screen.
Yes, we need to get it away as quickly as possible. Okay. Hopefully, I don't disturb people as much as you did.
Yeah, my king is like... He's the worst king. I mean, you can kind of get that idea from my drawing. He's making his finger talk and telling the kingdom to start crying to fill his mouth. Like, that's not a nice man.
Right.
Like, if that was your school principal, you'd say mean things about your school principal.
My school principal?
Yeah, those are the people who were in charge of schools. Yours was your mom because you were homeschooled.
Oh.
Did you ever do anything like give you a homework assignment and then you got together with the other kids in your school and said like, I can't believe our principal / teacher / gym teacher / cafeteria lady did that?
Nope.
Oh. You failed at not making this creepy already. Because that thing's eye is horrifying.
See, I did eye first strategy.
Yeah, that's new for you.
Because this
is
my Cyclops.
King? Oh. I was going to say it's my king, but I didn't have a pointy enough nose.
And yes, Cyclops in my version's eyes like wrap around.
It's like one big eye.
Like the
like
pupil can move like over here.
So
all the way to
so
the other
it's basically
side.
like two.
There's only one pupil, but like
like two white parts. What do you call that? The white part of the eye.
I don't know.
But it's like two, but it just like connects across the like bridge of the nose.
Yeah, so like he can have the pupil right in the middle, like right on top of the nose, or he can like look all the way to the right side, all the way to the left side.
Like, this is horrifying. But I also don't understand why I've never seen that in like a movie, because that seems like a great like sci-fi or medieval monster or alien,
Yeah.
Like, nobody does that. Nobody connects the eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
It doesn't make your
drew
guy
it.
any less creepy,
I
though.
just drew it the way it should be drawn.
You gave your dude an Adam's apple, too.
Yeah, that's because this is a male.
Oh.
That's the only difference in drawing.
I mean, it depends on how good at drawing you are. Do you draw like a square, or do you draw a triangle for the body? Because that's totally what I was getting at.
Yeah,
Not other
true.
anatomical features. Awkward silence time is over. Okay. Ooh, he's
not-
wearing a miniskirt too.
Well, not quite as many.
Is this a peasant or a king Cyclops?
I don't
He's
think.
standing staggered. That's all we need to know.
Yep.
I see you've saved the hand for last.
Yeah. Well, I'm because it's important what the hand's doing.
Hmm.
That's a technique.
Oh, I see.
I haven't
hand last
I haven't
style
decided how it's gonna,
versus like nose last.
Yeah. So now I have to over here draw awkward. This is gonna be bad. just putting my hand over here, I can already tell.
I like that this comes with like a warning.
Like I feel like I'm drawing with my left hand just because it's.
You can move the tablet and stuff.
I will.
But
But
you don't have to make this hard on yourself on purpose.
But
Like it's already going to be hard because
I
we
just
lack the skill
realized-
to do it.
I
but
just realized I don't draw people looking to the right very often.
you don't draw people like this at all very often. Like his nose is normal, his lips normal-ish, his eye is something that no sci-fi artist has even thought of. Is this another Cyclops?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that guy from Next Generation, like his goggles,
Mm-hmm.
but just like an eye, or like Cyclops, like the superhero Cyclops.
Right.
Is that where they get him from? Like the artist was like, clearly Cyclopses have like one big eye that stretches across the whole face.
Maybe because that's what he kind of has with his visor.
Yeah, really. Like that would make a lot of sense. We're discovering things about comic book art that we never even realized. And maybe the artists themselves didn't even realize, but now we're filling in that piece of history for them.
Yep. This one,
Has a mullet.
no, because it's a female.
Oh. So no Adam's apple for her.
No, unless I accidentally draw one. In which case, then Cyclops females have Adam's apples.
She already looks more feminine in some weird way.
I'm gonna do more with the hair here because
Because you don't want it just like jutting out of the back for no reason.
like I want her to have like a ponytail ish, but
I
like
think it's too late for that. I mean, I don't know how Cyclops...
yeah. This is what Cyclops hair looks like.
Do Cyclopses have like no eyebrows because the top of their hair is just
She's
eyebrow enough?
She's gonna be what would be considered emo for a Cyclops.
I mean, it's no different than human beings that cover up one of their eyes or
like
both of their eyes
a little
with their
bit
hair.
of their eyes. But
Like
it's
this
like
is arguably better because she can still look to the right, just not like all the way to the right. Versus like a human that covers up their eye, you're like, well, that person is just taking a vow of no sight
mm-hmm.
in order to like somehow hide from the world.
Yeah.
Can I vent about something unrelated but sort of emo-ish?
Okay.
I don't understand why the new generation of kids all still wear hoodies. It's like 90, almost 100 degrees in Arizona now.
Mm-hmm.
And all the like junior high kids are wearing like sweatpants and hoodies still. Like, are they broken? Oh gosh, her leg is really skinny.
It's just how it is sometimes.
Like when you skip leg day for your whole life?
Yeah.
Or is that just how Cyclops women legs look?
It's hard to say sometimes because it's like, is this like, because you have an example, right, of one Cyclops woman here.
Yes. So this is now...
Is this all Cyclops women?
Yeah.
Or this one?
I mean, because all
How-
women look different.
Yeah. Do all Cyclops women look different? Is this even a woman or a child? I haven't told you yet.
I mean, they look like adults. I don't know why. Maybe because
But
you just don't see too many children with like prominent Adam's apples. But then I don't know how Cyclops women develop.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm gonna stop there.
Maybe Cyclops are different than humans.
Yeah, and that's possible. It's possible that Cyclops and humans are different. I guess. I mean, I'm no expert or anything on the species.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I'm a fair expert on the human species, though.
Would you say that?
I mean, like, I am one. I'm married to a female of the same race.
Oh.
I mean, like the same species. That's what I meant. I didn't mean race. Please don't cancel us for me using that word and making it seem like it's something it's not.
There's only one race.
Yeah, the human race. That's really what I meant. Are they building a sandcastle on top of a boulder? Because that's what I'm.
It's like.
Is it like? Are they like giants and cyclopses?
Yeah. And
this is definitely going to make some people in the kingdom cry.
Yeah. But see, I'm going for a different pun than that. Right? This is like they're tearing the kingdom.
Oh, you're going for like a English language spelling joke.
Yeah.
You know, there was some debate with this game when they first announced the title where it said Tears of the Kingdom, whether or not it was Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, I'm saying maybe it's Tears.
I mean, pretty sure Nintendo confirmed it wasn't, but I like what you're doing here. Yeah. Is this like what Cyclopses do when they go out on dates? Like, is this like a date we've stumbled upon?
See, I'm debating on what I want them, because it's like, are these like kids fighting over a toy, or is this like, you know, they're splitting the kingdom? You know, it's like a meal.
Oh,
yeah.
Or
I was gonna put words and like have them say something.
No,
but I don't think I will.
Sometimes art is more profound without words. Yeah. Even though we put a lot of words in our art, because
like I'll leave it up to interpretation.
It's amazing how many
they're doing.
It's amazing how many of our drawings we do actually where we do put words, and yet there's still a lot of room for interpretation.
I am going to,
but I like
potentially ruin this by adding a second arm for both people that just like goes behind.
Oh, so you don't see the hand?
So you don't see the hand, but you assume it's possible.
No, I think that actually gives it like an element of 3D that we're usually not capable of doing, unless you put her arm like.
But like, where's her arm gonna go?
Like maybe her arm is just lined up with the other arm. Yeah. She's got her arms out straight.
Yeah, she got.
Yeah, or do you chance it and put it like slightly above the other arm?
His arm's like clearly.
Or do Cyclops women only have one arm?
Maybe that would be interesting. You would think, oh, Cyclops.
Or maybe it's like lower. Maybe it's like at hip level.
Like it just comes out over here. Oh, I don't think I want to draw that.
You don't want to ruin it that much? I mean, I'm just saying. We're writing a Cyclops
have the arm
today.
Come down here. But then it's like, wouldn't that make it longer than this arm?
Not if you draw the fingers not quite at the thing, but then you have to draw fingers.
Yeah, but and
maybe
also
Cyclops women have a longer left arm.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we
get to make up whatever we want. This is our world. There is no Cyclopses like this anywhere.
I think it's gonna come like it's gonna be okay. So if it's here, it's gonna come down. It's like equal to here. So it comes down like
this is like a measuring game at this point.
Like there, and then the thickness.
Yeah, nope. I don't think it lines up quite right, but you know.
And then it's just.
I think it would have looked better if we hadn't drawn so much attention to the fact that you tried to line it up so much.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly not really lined up, but also, like, look at how weirdly this is bent. They clearly don't have, like, real, like, fully straight arms.
When you say they, do you mean like female Cyclopses or the species as a whole?
Well, it's hard to say because like his is also weird, but like he has more muscles, so maybe that kind of hides the fact that he's just like weirdly bent. It's hard to say. Again, maybe she just has a weirdness to her arm.
So I'm also trying to figure out what they're wearing, because I thought he was shirtless because there's no like collar. But that would also mean she is. Oh, now it's modest.
He's shirtless.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. But she's has like
sleeveless.
Sleeveless, yeah. No, I can see that clearly.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was always going for, is to have her be sleeveless and him be shirtless.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I just forgot to draw.
It's amazing the amount of modesty you can gain from one line in a pen drawing.
Very true.
Or the amount of modesty you can lose, depending on
the line. You can do a lot with one line when everything is just lines.
You should have a drawing about that one time where we just like add a line to something and make it horrible or better. Like that nose I added earlier. Fixed the peasant.
I wouldn't say fixed.
In comparison to his king, he's beautiful. I like this. I like the tears of the kingdom.
Yep.
Maybe there are like giant Cyclops creatures in the Zelda game. So maybe there'll be a scene where like two of them tear apart the castle that you're in.
Yeah, maybe.
This could be like a
prediction.
Yeah.
We'll only know when the game comes out
in 5 days.
You play it.
Hey, you have to play it too.
I'll only play it if it's better.
You played Breath of the Wild.
I suffered through playing it. I played like half of it and didn't play anymore. And then Isaac's like, you have to beat it. You can't complain about it unless you beat it. So then I beat it so I could complain about it.
Is that why we've been hearing all the complaints?
Literally the only reason
5 years
I finished
now?
playing the game.
So you could complain?
Yeah, I suffered through it.
That's just sad for you. Just really sad. But, you know, whatever. I hope this one's better. You even collect tears from those creatures in the game.
The Cyclops?
Yeah.
Or
it's like
Hinox.
Hinox is what they're called. Yeah, I wasn't going to say it because people out there are going to think we're nerds.
We are.
Yeah, but you like, don't you ever want to just like sometimes be like,
and it's not like
fake like you're cool.
It's not like you're that nerdy. Hinoxes were in like the first Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah, but the people who played that also were nerdy.
No, that came out.
There were nerds in the 80s too.
That came out before nerds.
It's like when nerds were invented. How could you be nerds before video games?
That is true. That's like when video games came into the house and D&D came out.
And then after that is like when pop culture became a thing. Because like before the 80s, what pop culture was there? Like, which war do we want to... That's pretty much what it was. It was like people who collected war memorabilia.
Yeah, there's like the Civil War nerds.
Yeah.
And like
Civil War nerds and World War I nerds and World War II nerds and Korea nerds and Vietnam nerds.
Yep.
And then people were like, we really need to... like
we need new nerds.
We need something else. So they invented video games so people didn't have to go to war.
I mean, there were comic book nerds.
That's true.
Came out a long time ago.
That's true. There were like superhero nerds. The original OG nerds.
Yep.
See, that's what the cool.
But I think anybody that watches this already knows we're nerds.
Yeah, we haven't hidden it very well. If they could see a picture of where we're sitting too, where there's like a whole wall dedicated to Zelda and a whole wall dedicated to superheroes.
I'm wearing a shirt with Tyranitar on it.
I'm not even wearing a shirt with Tyranitar on it. See what I did there? It's something you can do when they can't see us.
Yeah.
Quick, say something that would sound weird if they could see you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. As always, we're surprised you made it this far into our video.
There's no way we could possibly ask you to subscribe to this atrocity, so we won't.
We would say share it with your friends, but it's probably better for wasting your enemy's time.
We're probably not going to get any better, but we will keep drawing.
See you next time.